Foothold.
Foothold.
Oh my gosh. Costumes and, shellfish aliens that do this.
Shellfish alien. Weren't those great?
They were I can't imagine, I can't imagine, like, I look at that episode and I see, these costumes and these creatures. When you create stuff for television, you almost, hope to be able to, like, use some of this stuff in future episodes. You're creating assets for the show, but to just go out there for one episode where we see all this stuff, and aside from a little device that you can attach to your chest, we don't see any of that again. I'm curious, before we get into the nitty gritty, was it ever an issue of, this is gonna hit the budget? We're gonna create a lot of stuff, even though we're not really going off world for this episode. I'm curious, were there any conversations over that?
Not ones I was privy to.
Okay.
I was story editor level. I mean, it was the plane. I think you've heard the plane story.
I have not heard the plane story from this episode.
Okay. There's so many stories. Foothold is my favorite episode.
Okay.
That of all the ones that were written, that was my absolute favorite. Still my favorite.
Okay.
Like, I come back to that one because learning curve for me is like a little slow. Like, I love it, but it's slow to me. It's just like I want it to go a little bit more.
It's not actiony.
It's not actiony, and I am a fan of action, not action devoid of character. And this, I think, really hits what my strengths are, which is some humor, some action, but yet the character is in there. And like I said before, that the device aspect of it, we wrestled with a lot. It began with like the Body Snatchers kind of concept. I feel like I'm very derivative as I watch all of my episodes. Like, we've got Body Snatchers, we've got Metropolis, we've got all this stuff. I really like the idea of who can you trust within the SGC. Like, our people come back and something's not right, and how do we handle that? And sending Sam Carter off the base was a way to get that's not who she is. She's not, to divide up our people and kind of and make them not trust each other. What does that look like? She originally didn't go to Maybourne. She originally went to the guy who was flying the plane, whose name escapes me.
Is it Paul Davis? Major Davis?
Major Davis.
Yeah, because he comes out and he does that.
Yes, he was supposed to be the one she goes to.
Okay.
First. So here's the thing. Let's talk about the fear that keeps you from doing the thing. So for me, first job, you want to do the right thing. And I got really caught up in, let's make this right. I want to make sure that everyone loves it. I want to make sure that, I'm not embarrassing my boss. I want to do a good job. That is kind of paralyzing in the same way that math can be paralyzing. Let's just draw that back.
In terms of it keeps you from action?
It keeps me from taking the swing at the fence. You know what I mean? You want to play it, you play it a little too safe. You play it a little too nice instead of going like, really, let's make everything really uncomfortable. What is the kind of decision you can make here that's really going to be, how are you going to write your way out of it? And so originally I thought, well, she goes to Maybourne. And I second guessed myself. And then as I was talking it over with Brad, and he's like, this is not quite working for me. And I said, well, I had this thought that she'd go to Maybourne. And he's like, yes, wait, why didn't you just go there? And so she goes to Maybourne, and that really opened it up a lot. The plane, thank God that they were filming, I forgot what they were filming on the lot, but it had been a feature film featuring a 747. And our UPM, was he our UPM? John Smith called me and said, hey, could you put a plane in your script?
Could I?
It was great because otherwise they'd have to come in a van and then you're not going to see them. It really was a problem in the script. So the timing was fantastic, which is how do we get them from out there back here? So Sam and O'Neill and everybody. And the plane was really a gift. It was an expensive gift, but then, like you said, it's an asset that they can use over and over for the rest of the show's run. And they can write it off in that budget rather than just have it sitting there. So that's where the plane came in. I think that's why Davis was there, because we wanted to use him, and I know that they really liked the actor too, so we got to keep him. But it was just so much fun. And I know that one of the lines where Carter comes in and is saying, I forgot what the line is, and I should know it, but she's just rattling off technobabble. And she could not get through it.
You mean Amanda?
I know. Amanda could not get through it. And I felt bad, but she's absolutely right. Like, what I had written was a mouthful. But God bless her, she tried. Yeah. But that was also the first script I turned it in. So you always turn it in, your writer's draft, to the bosses. So Brad and Jonathan. And they might hand back notes to your writer's draft, and then you'll revise quick. It depends on where you are in the production calendar. And then it goes out to the crew because they need to start working. And I remember that when that script went out to crew, it was the first time I was on staff when that had happened. So I'm getting feedback in the moment, not, a few weeks later, like with Learning Curve. And I remember one of my friends who was in the art department saying everyone loved this part. And everyone loved, like, when O'Neill is going to unbutton Janet's top, and it's like, she's just an alien. That was one of mine. And that was where, having fun with it, just an alien. That was one of my favorite parts. And that's one that a lot of other people, like, they just liked that aspect of it. And that's when I realized I'm not just writing for out there, I'm writing to entertain the crew. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the first people who are going to read this. They're the biggest fans of the show. You want them to respond and be surprised too.
My favorite line, and Tom Macbeth is a friend.
Okay. Yeah.
I will use this on him when I meet him. Maybourne, you are an idiot every day of the week. Why couldn't you taken one day off?
That might have been a Brad line, actually.
Oh, really?
Or it might have been a man. I don't know. Sometimes, the snarky, like, I could not always put in the snarky, again, playing it a little safe. And then Rick would always ad-lib something just to make it funny and very O'Neill-y. But yes, I think that was definitely very in character.
Absolutely.
That was perfect.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.